Hello everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please do not forget to hit on the like button. A man has taken the life of his own girlfriend, and this is the reason why. A 38 years old grandmother who goes by the name Chinyere was found last Monday, that's March 8, 2021, with a broken piece of mirror in the right side of her ribs at an apartment at 11 Abuja Street in Alabarago off Mile 2 Badagry Expressway, Lagos, Nigeria. She died before they could rush her to the hospital. Her boyfriend, whom you can see there, goes by the name Michael. He's 27 years old, was arrested and is currently at the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department in Yaba, from where he will be charged to court. And Ikechukwu, who is from Ebonyi State, claimed he met Chinyere as a commercial sex worker at Apapa, and they've known each other for 3 years and 4 months. He said her death was an accident following an argument about her quitting prostitution. The man, who hawks electronics accessories, said she told me she wanted to go out that day. We went to TV line, stayed for about 10 minutes before she said she was going back home. By the time I went to meet her at home, I knocked, but it took a long time for her to open the door. When she did, I asked if she was okay. She kept quiet. When I asked what the problem was, she got angry and started packing her things, saying she was leaving the house. When I asked where she was going, she said I shouldn't ask her. I locked the door, preventing her from leaving. She started shouting at the top of her voice that I should open the door and that I should not ask her where she was going, since I knew she was a hawker. At that point, I started calming her down, but she insisted on leaving. She said she was going to look for money. She started scattering everywhere, insisting she must leave. Out of provocation, I slapped her and told her to rearrange the room. In an attempt to scare her, I slammed the standing mirror on the ground and it shattered. Unfortunately, a piece pierced into her rib and she started shouting that I had stabbed her. This is what the boyfriend Ikechukwu had to explain. He even said that he loved Chinyere, who has 2 children, a 21 years and a 9-year-old child. Her 21 years old daughter is married and has a child of her own. He explained that though he met her as a prostitute, he was willing to marry her, but she was reluctant to give up her work, that's the illicit work she was actually doing. He said again, I met her at a drinking joint in Apapa after hawking. We got talking and I invited her to my house at Alabarago. She had been living with me for 3 years. I knew she was a commercial sex worker, but I accommodated her because I loved her. I never treated her like a prostitute by paying her any time I slept with her, but I gave her money for housekeep. I bought her clothes, gave her money to make her hair, and also gave her pocket money, but she always complained it was not enough. I loved Chinyere. We had some things in common. For instance, she smoked like I do, and she was into alcoholic drinks like me. Besides, She also satisfied me when we were together in bed, which is the main reason I loved her. While living with me, she usually went out at night for her night activities. I never met her at home when I came back from work. People taunted me about it, and I still tolerated her because of the love I had for her. Last year, I told her to stop the work because I intended to marry her. She had 2 children of ages 21 and 9. Her first child is married with a baby, while the younger one lives with her aunt. Yet I didn't mind spending the rest of my life with her. I never meant to kill her. I only wanted to prevent her from going out that night. And right now this case is in the police custody. That's the Lagos State Police Command, who is Adejobi, said that the suspect will be charged to court. You can imagine what this guy is now saying. In the first place, you were with her knowing the kind of job that she was into before you started dating her. You accepted to take her the way she was, and you even allowed her to keep living with you. It's not like she had stopped the work she was doing before he met her. She was still into the work and he still took her in. So obviously it meant Ikechukwu was ready to accommodate her with every other thing that surrounded her. That is just it. Because if you wanted her not to continue that kind of a job which he wasn't comfortable with, he would have said it from the onset. And secondly, he wouldn't have even let her to be staying in his house with him. But this is somebody you're allowed to live with you for 3 years, and knowing that she was still into the job, she was going out at night and carrying it on, but you still kept her with you. And then all of a sudden, one of the nights, you decided that you would stop her from leaving and you don't want her to continue with that job again. Ikechukwu went about it the wrong way. From the onset, he caused problems for himself. Who will, in his right mind or right senses, you see someone doing a job that you don't like and you still decide to accommodate that person? It's just like a woman who knows that a guy is an armed robber. She knows the implications and she knows that there are dire consequences whenever he's caught. She'd still decide to date him and even live with him. If anything eventually happens tomorrow, nobody will blame the guy. Everybody will still blame the lady because, one, you knew that this is the kind of thing he is into. You still took him in. For such kind of situations, those kind of people, you don't even feel sorry for them because they use their own hands to buy problems for themselves, just like Ikechukwu. And he now killed her and said it was a mistake, the mirror broke and fell. But you know, his narration didn't even fly out well, because how can a standing mirror fall and just land on her right side of the rib? Mirrors don't fly. Obviously, if it was even on her foot, we'll say, okay, yes, it's possible, it's a standing mirror. But by the ribs, it's only when someone takes a mirror and then stabs you, then that's when it's going to stick at your rib, but not a standing mirror that will fall down and break and it's going directly on your rib. This history doesn't really add up, although at the end he still said he never meant to kill her. He was only trying to scare her. These are the dangers of you getting yourself involved with some kind of relationships that you, in your head, you'll be like, you want to change this person, you're going to change this person. Be honest with yourselves. Men and women out there, don't think you carry someone overnight and change the person. And if it is something the person loves, obviously you could see that this lady loved her job so much, irrespective of the fact that she had someone who she was dating and he was taking care of her. That wasn't enough for her. She needed more. that is where the idea of lack of content comes into play. And he knew this is what she has been through with her life all the years. And then you've been living with her 3 years, she's been doing this thing. You were still keeping her and even willing to marry her. Can you imagine? If it's someone you're willing to marry, it obviously means you're ready to go along with the person's flaws, all the dislikes about the person. You are willing to carry it upon you. You can't say you've been living with somebody for 3 years who has been carrying out those jobs at night. She goes at night to go and work. You say you never meet her at home. She still does the work she's been doing right from the onset before you met her. And then all of a sudden you want her to stop because you want to get married to her. How possible is that? Someone who is already addicted to what she is doing, and you want to all of a sudden decide that you want her to stop overnight. It's just like a drug addict. You see a drug addict and you want him overnight, or you want her overnight to stop those drugs. It's never possible, because these things have gotten to their bloodstream. It's running through their vein. And for one day you tell a drug addict not to take a drug, you need to see how they will react. You would need to see the way they will be having like seizures and all kind of crisis, all because they felt whatever is used to their system is lacking at that time. So I'll be acting very crazy and acting like they are going to die that minute. That's the same way with the work this woman is doing. It's already in her blood. Okay, you can imagine she already has 2 kids, even a grown-up daughter of 21 years old, and the other is 9. And she's still doing her job, and this guy still went ahead and said he was willing to marry her. If you're willing to marry her, why did you now try to stop her overnight in one day? If you're willing to marry her, you would have still kept up with whatever she was doing, because obviously you don't expect her to just stop one day. If you had told her prior to the time they started the relationship, look, Chinyere, I want you to stop this job if you want us to be together, but he took her to his home and even accommodated her, and they still living together like a couple, and he wants to now take the laws into his hands or forcefully change someone. Life doesn't work like that. Please, women, tell yourselves the truth. If you see a man that you really love and you want to be with him, and he has certain flaws that you know that could harm you in future, don't venture into it, because whatever someone is addicted to, it's difficult for the person to change overnight. It only takes a special grace of God to arrest someone to change deadly habits like that. You can't change a drunkard. You can't change someone who is into heavy, terrible smoking and drinking at the same time. It is not possible that you just change them overnight. Most times these people decide on their own to change, and so it's not something that you would force them to change. And especially when you know this person has been into that for a very long time before they met you, you either play your cards well and tell yourself the truth by letting that person be, or you make up your mind that you're ready to face whatever consequences that come along with dating this kind of a person. Don't say, I'm going to change him, I will ensure that I give him everything he needs to change. Ladies, don't tell yourself that, because you will only be deceiving yourself and you'll be causing yourself more harm. Than let this person be, because at the end of the day, in that relationship, the peace you're looking for, you will not get it. Also, you men, don't think you take a lady who has an addict, who has made up her mind to stick to a particular terrible lifestyle, and then you feel when I marry her she will change, or by the time I propose to her she will change. Or you tell yourself, I'm going to give her conditions before I propose. If she doesn't change, I'm not going to propose. You don't do that. You are not a spiritual being. You are a human being like that other person. And you can't just perform magic for somebody to change what he or she loves. Obviously, Chinyere loved her job. She was not willing to quit, despite the fact she had children. She was even a grandma. And then you think that you would tell this kind of a person to quit. Okay, you can see how he said she was acting all crazy, scattering things around, scouting for money. That is how addicts behave. This is an example of when someone is also a drug addict. They start acting very crazy because it's something that their body is used to, and once it's not there, it's like there's no blood running through their veins, and they need to scout for one drug or the other to take immediately before the collapse. That is what Chinyere was actually doing, because this is something that she's already used to doing, and then you're depriving her to leave the house that night, and then you expect her to be calm, and knowing that she's calculating in her head the amount of money she would have made all the while she's standing there, and you are depriving her of going out. And that was what made her, she started scouting for money, if she can even get some money in the house to cover up for the hours you are delaying her, because you're already wasting her time. You're cutting short her money for the night, and then you expect her to just fold her arms and respond to you. No. Addicts are very difficult for you to calm when they are in that mood or that crisis stage. It's really hard. Don't get yourself involved with anyone that you know that has an attitude or habit that is unbearable, or a habit that you know that would have their consequences on your life. And think twice before you accept to date someone like that. People that have horrible habits which you know that it's not good and you can't just change them, please let that person go. It is better than you enforcing change on somebody. Don't enforce change on people. You can still stay from a distance and pray for them. That is just it. You can't take someone in whom you know that is into something that can cause harm to your relationship or destroy your future, and take the person in and trying to change the person on your own. It's not possible at all, because you will be faced with a lot of challenge while doing that. Alright, look at now. Chinyere has lost her life, leaving behind 2 daughters and a grandchild. Friends, what do you all think about this particular incident that has just happened? One, Ikechukwu taking her in the first place, was that the right decision he took? Secondly, he lived with her for 3 years in the same apartment, and she kept on carrying out the job she was doing right from the time he met her. Was that okay for him to allow her to carry on that job for the past 3 years when they were living together, and also trying to stop her overnight in one day? Was that the right thing to do? Please, if you have anything, you can put that down at the comment section. Allow people to have the liberty to change at their own time. Don't force them. Don't force anybody to change, because that is where you'll be causing problems for your own self. Like I'll repeat, the best you can do for the person is to pray for the person. From a distance, you can do that even when you are not dating or married to that person. Imagine you're married to a drug addict. Imagine you're married to all those hawkers that go up and down at night. Imagine you're married to such kind of people. How would you expect your marriage to be? Have you thought of your kids going around such kind of people? What will be the outcome of your own children? Because you know, kids emulate whatever parents do. Most times when it has to do with your line of work, some kids want to be like their parents. You see, some lawyers, they have kids that are lawyers. Some doctors, they have kids that are doctors. Some teachers, they have kids that are teachers. That is how it is. When you are doing your own thing as a parent and you're being successful in it, your kids are looking up to you. And so they'll tell themselves one day, I want to be like my daddy, I want to be like my mommy. Then if you're into those kind of illicit jobs, You expect your child to look up to you and say, I want to be like my daddy. How are you going to feel as a parent knowing that this job will harm your child one day, and then you will just let the child carry on? I'm sure no parent, even the drug addicts, even those hawkers at night, would never want their own children to carry out such kind of jobs like them. When you ask them, they will tell you that their circumstance was different, they had reasons for it, and so they would not want their kids to be part of it. Meanwhile, these children are trying to follow your footsteps. So have you think of these things before you engage yourself or get married or get into a relationship with people that are into jobs that are not right even before the law, jobs that they do that you know that would destroy your marriage. Stay clear. Money is not everything. Don't be carried away with whatever that person is doing and how the person is increasing his or her own money. Please be more concerned about the future, about your kids, about how your whole lives will turn out to be. Is that the kind of marriage you want to be in? Is that the kind of man or woman you want to live with for the rest of your life? Always tell yourself the truth. I think why a lot of people have gotten into problems like this is because they fail to tell themselves the truth. A woman will see a man who is into dubious acts, and then you say you're going to change him. It doesn't work. A man will see a woman who is into a very terrible act, and you say you're going to change her, I will marry her, I'm going to change her. It doesn't work that way. Most times they decide to change on their own. I said it only takes the grace of God for those people to change when you tell them to. And it's in very slim situations or rare occasions you will see someone change after you've spoken to them, especially an addict, where whoever is addicted to a particular thing or habit, then that makes it very, very hard. Tell yourselves the truth before you get involved into a relationship. Weigh the outcome first. Think before you jump in, so that you would avoid unforeseen circumstances. Friends, please do not forget to hit on the like button. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Friends, I'm here today to talk about how to start up a new YouTube channel. So for those that are looking to start up a new YouTube channel, probably you've been trying to figure out how to go about it, or you have been trying to see what it entails or what you need to start. That's why I'm here today, to give you the easy way for you to get this done. Not just the easy, but the best method, and also to give you or to talk about the best teacher who will give you all that is required for you to start up your own YouTube channel. This is a teacher. He is really successful with his YouTube, and he has been a teacher for so long now. Teacher is Matt Pa. He's going to give you a step-by-step method on how to start up your own YouTube channel. No stone unturned. Every step of the way, he's going to lead you through it. You have links that you can actually reach out to him and communicate with him directly. That's Matt Pa there. You can see the huge successes he has made in YouTube. You can see his silver, you can see the gold, you can also see his revenue that he's actually making on YouTube, which is very huge. He is going to give you a YouTube step-by-step tube mastery class, every step of the way, from the beginning of the opening of the channel to how you can start up and put up your videos. He is leaving no stone unturned, like I said. So for those that are seeking for how to start up their own YouTube channel, this is the easiest and the fastest way for you to have access to this particular teacher who is honest and straightforward, and you will enjoy every bit of the class, and you will have lots of gain. At the end of your class, you will have lots to hold on to and to start up your own YouTube channel. It's going to be like an ABC class starting from the scratch. So please, for those of you that are interested in starting up your own YouTube channel, Matpa, he is the teacher and you will have direct access to him. I'm dropping the link below. So please, you just click on that link and you will have access to Matpa's class. He is going to give you the whole content of YouTube and all that it takes for you to be successful in YouTube, and how to start YouTube from the scratch. Like I said, and I'm going to repeat, he's leaving no stone unturned. And it's so interesting that if you have any kind of complaint, no matter the time you have this complaint or you are confused about anything, you can communicate directly to him and he will give you a response as soon as he gets your question or as soon as he gets your mail or anything you're trying to confirm from him. He is quick at responding and he will give you the right answers. And even if you go elsewhere to search, you find out that what he is saying is actually true. He wouldn't mislead you. So please, for those of you that want to start your own YouTube channel from the scratch and see how you can be successful on YouTube, please go to this link, click on the link below, so you'll have access to the teacher. That's the teacher there you can see and see his success. You can go through that and then you click on the link so that you can have direct access to Matpa himself. This teacher, you will enjoy and enjoy every bit of the classes that he's going to give to you. So friends, do not forget to click the link below so you have access to Matpa's Tube Mastery class, and he will give you the best teaching for YouTube you would really need to start your own channel. Friends, thank you for coming up today. Please, for those that have not subscribed, click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you once again, and God bless you all.